Hi guys, welcome back to B Speed Shop. So today I'm going to be working on repairing this corner section where the rear subframe bolts to. So I made this panel in a previous video and it fits in here to repair that section. So it will repair this section in here, and it's got the piece which goes on here and then spot welds to this edge. So once I get that cut out, I'll cut it out along that edge and weld it in the same place that's been done previously, and I'll drill out these spot welds and spot weld this edge along here as well. But before I cut anything out or drill any of the spot welds, what I want to do is make a repair section to go in here for the wheel arch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through the different metal dollies I've got and see if there's one with a similar shape that I can cut out a square of metal and hammer form it over to repair this section here. So I've cut myself off a square of metal now from my sheet, so I can go ahead and make the repair patch to go in that section there. So what I'm first going to do is focus on this bigger curve here, try and get that in there, and then what I'll do is I'll try and fold over the edge onto this piece as well, and then what I'll do is I'll just cut it out and hopefully just weld that in place, and that will fix that. So I've just roughly marked out my piece. So these two lines sort of represent where this curved edge is in here. So I know the curve needs to start about here, and these arrows are telling me that it's got to come up this way, so it would replicate this curve. And then this line here is sort of where the seam would be to create this edge on here. So what I'm going to do is carefully try and recreate this curve in this section here. And then once I get that done and fitting in here properly, I'll try and carefully bend over this edge along this line to create this edge here. So to get this piece started, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this balsa chisel to create a score line down that edge, just to get this piece starting off going this way. And then what I'm going to do is put one of the metal dollies, just carefully clamp it in the vise and use it as like an anvil, and then I can hold that on that way up and start to hammer over the edge to create that curve. And then sort of once I get that going, I'll give it a test fit. So I've got the edge folded round on this repair patch I'm making now, and it fits in there quite well. I'm happy with the way it all fits in there. It's got a little bit more hammering to do just to get it to fit in properly. Just on that bottom edge, you can see it's just sitting there, so it's rocking on this corner here. So I've just got a little bit more hammering to do just to clearance that. And then what I'll try and do is see if I can fold this edge over this way, and then that's pretty much almost ready to weld in, apart from drilling out a few spot welds and cutting out the rusty section. So this is my little repair patch I've been making. So I've roughly now got it into the shape I want. It still needs a little bit more work on it to make it just right, but I'm pretty happy with where it is so far. So what I've done is I've just marked off the bottom line where I need to cut out, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of cut down just there somewhere. I'm going to put this up again, and then I can slowly sort of trim a bit off of the panel, a bit more off here, so it all fits together nicely. And then once I'm happy with the way that fits in there, I can start getting that welded in. So I've got my little patch all trimmed to size now, it all fits in that gap. So what I have to do is just hold it in place, put a few tacks on it, and then I'll be able to weld it in. I've also started cutting out the other panel which goes here. So obviously I just got to neaten up all these edges first, and there's a little bit I've got to finish cutting out from the inside, but I want to try and get that piece at least tacked in today. So that's what I'm going to do next, is get that set up, put a few tacks on, and see how it looks. So I've got my little patch tacked in now. I'm really happy with the way it all lines up and everything. It's a little bit tight at the top here, so I might just have to trim a little bit off just so they're not overlapping, so they're actually next to each other. But other than that, it's all looking good. I'm happy with the way it is. I had to do a little bit of hammering on it just to sort of blend in the there's like a slight radius going across this way, and obviously coming down this way as well. So I just a little bit of hammer work just to blend them in, make them look a bit nicer, but that's pretty much ready to be welded in now. And then obviously I've got the patch up here as well, so obviously I've got to put a couple of holes in for a couple of spot welds, and same along this edge. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I was able to get that little patch made and tacked in at least. So next weekend I'll pick this up, get that little patch fully welded in, and I'll get my other patch to go on top fully welded in as well, so I can then move on after that. So thanks for watching this video.